I am incredibly excited about this video today because inside this box right here we have a super cool laptop, the MSI Prestige 14, and the dog is barking downstairs. I need to get used to this. And I'm really excited for this, not only because it is a really smart, thin, powerful laptop, but because this is the first video, or at least the first unboxing video in the new space. The first thing you'll notice about the MSI Prestige is that it's not really that big. It's 14 inches in screen size. This means that the overall body is a lot thinner and a lot lighter than you will get in some other laptops. And when we think about these creator, video editing, or just powerful workload laptops that you'll take with you on the go, you normally tend to lean towards bigger, powerful, beefy laptops. But the point with this is that you don't need all of that. If you need something that is slim and lightweight, but also something that has all of the power to do all of your work, then this is exactly what you should be looking at. First impressions of this are actually really, really good. Not only because it is so slim and small, but because the whole thing just feels really nice in the hand. It's very solid, it's all made out of metal, front and back. So what you're getting is something that not only is very portable, very powerful, but something that looks the business and feels the business too. And this continues once you actually open it up and take a look inside as well. You've got this illuminated keyboard, but then the main thing that draws my attention is the screen. It's available in both a 4K and 1080p variant. It's got face unlock, if I actually paid attention rather than talking to you guys. I know, I'm very rude, sorry laptop. It's very difficult to do while talking to you. There you go, welcome back, and we're in. But this also does have fingerprint unlock, so if you are using this within a company and you don't want to rely on face unlock, you can do one or the other, combination of the two. But the main thing really that should draw your attention is this screen, and it is super, super bright, which means that you can use this outside if you are going to be working on the go. But in terms of the actual image quality of the screen as well, this is far, far superior to pretty much most gaming laptop screens I've seen. And if you're mainly like working with maybe video files or photography, then yes, I would go for that 4K version. And if you're going to be using this for more lighter loads and then maybe doing a bit of gaming on the side, then that 1080p screen option is probably what I would go for. The thing that really makes this screen stand out, however, is the fact that it is individually calibrated with something MSI are calling the true pixel display. And this is incredibly important for creators, because having a rich and vibrant panel is one thing, but having accuracy is another. But as soon as you start doing any sort of color work, like maybe some color grading in video or doing some photo editing where you're going to print things out, then what you see on screen needs to accurately reflect your end product. So if you're working on photos and you've got a pretty bad screen, when you come to print these things out, you might find that they look completely different and you'd be a little bit puzzled. The trackpad is also a lot bigger than you'll find on some others, especially on a laptop this size. It's a very large proportion of touchpad to laptop. It's quite impressive really. Keyboard is fully illuminated and it looks excellent. It's pretty nice to type on. It's not the absolute best out there that I've ever used, but for a laptop, again, this size, it's very, very easy to work with. Because this laptop is on the slimmer side, you don't get the full port selection that you'll find on something like a 17-inch laptop, let's say. But actually, it's pretty much bang on the money for what I would want, with one exception. We have two USB-C ports on the side, both with Thunderbolt and both with charging, which is perfect. I don't know why more laptops these days don't do this, because I can be using a Thunderbolt SSD whilst charging and it works so, so well. You've also got on the other side two full-size USB-As for your usual things, a headphone, microphone, combo jack. But then you do have a card reader, which is micro SD. So if you're a drone pilot, then this is the laptop for you. Stop this video right now, this is what you want. But for everybody else, it's a shame that they couldn't fit a full-size one in here, but I guess just carry an adapter with you and this really won't be a problem. Where the Prestige 14 gets really interesting though has to be with its specifications. As for something that is genuinely this thin and light, it's quite remarkable just what this thing packs inside. So we've got a 10th generation Intel processor. It's an i7 6-core unit with great single and multi-threaded performance. And this is pretty much geared up for those of you that want to do things like maybe photo editing on the go. It's going to speed up Photoshop as well as Lightroom exports. If you're going to be doing video editing, maybe like myself, you want to work with 4K files, this is pretty much designed for you. But anything CPU intensive is pretty much just what this thing is actually made for. But that doesn't mean it's a slouch in other areas, as this laptop still packs a PCIe NVMe SSD with 250 gigabytes of storage, but you can spec this up if you do need a little bit more. If you're after more RAM as well, you can get up to 32 gigabytes, but once again, this one is slightly lower at 16, and to be honest, that's probably what I'd recommend for most people, unless you know you're going to need more RAM than that. And in terms of graphics performance, this isn't going to hit the headlines as it has a 1650 Max-Q, but that's exactly the one I would recommend anyway, I think, for a laptop like this, as it means you do still get that slim body. And for hardware accelerated apps like anything in Adobe Suite, as you can use the hardware acceleration within those applications to actually achieve things faster and get more responsive performance, especially with things like Lightroom when you're fiddling with sliders and things like that. In terms of gaming performance though, don't think that this can't play games. If you're playing anything that's a little bit older, really shouldn't be a problem on this laptop. But the sort of things I would use this for are probably things like maybe a bit of Civilization 6, maybe some Tropico. And as well, because this is a slimmer laptop that uses less power, you should be able to use this on things like maybe a train if you're going to work in the morning or something, and still be able to play a game without losing too much frame rate, if any at all, as a result of that lower power draw. But I guess the question that you're probably wondering is whether this, the MSI Prestige 14, is actually worth buying. And this has some big selling features, and I would say that its strongest areas are in just usability. The fact for me that I can use a Thunderbolt SSD and charge it at the same time is fantastic. I love its form factor. In fact, I don't have a banana, but I do have a slipper because it's cold in England at the moment. For scale, you can see that this is tiny and will fit in any laptop bag pretty much with absolute ease. In fact, you can get a smaller laptop bag for this because it's pretty tiny. I also love the fact that this screen, and I know it doesn't really come across very well on video, is super color accurate. You can tell immediately when you actually turn it on for the first time that this is a cut above most laptop screens. And I guess I was almost expecting there to be a lot of stuff wrong with this laptop. When you get any laptop in, there's normally quite a few fundamental flaws, and it's very rare that you find a laptop that you like in all areas. But genuinely, this is one of those laptops. It's not for everybody. It doesn't have as much graphics performance as I'm sure a lot of us gamers would want. But for productivity and for a little bit of light gaming on the side, this is one of the most perfect laptops I think I've come across so far. Battery life is very good as well, but of course it will depend on what you're actually using it for. And the pricing, I would say, is probably the most impressive bit of the lot, as you can get all of this, the performance, the form factor, the build quality, for around about £1,349, as that brightness blares in my face. Which I think when you look at Windows laptops from around about 4 or 5 years ago, it's fair to say that, especially if you compare them to Macs, you're always getting better or similar performance for a lot less money, but you'd usually be compromising a little bit in terms of maybe like the keyboard wouldn't be so good, or the trackpad, or something just isn't as nice. But this pretty much has all bases covered and does come highly recommended. Let me know your thoughts on the Prestige 14. Is this exactly the ticket, or would you rather have something that was a bit more gamery, a larger screen, or are you just team desktop? You can't even see it, the screen's gone off because I've been filming this for ages because I've just got back from CES and I'm tired. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Oh, and don't forget to like the video. It helps, please. Like the video. I'll stop begging if you like.